Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spark. This is my opportunity to come to you every single week and chit chat about the journey that we're all on here as vegan entrepreneurs, vegan business owners, and vegan professionals. I'm excited today about talking about our topic. This week's topic is called Celebrating Personal Wins. Now, the reason I want to talk about celebrating personal wins is that I do believe that it's important in our businesses that we talk about what's happening in our businesses. I also think it's important for us to talk about what's happening to us as business owners, as individuals on these journeys, and how important it is that we get a little vulnerable at times, and also how important it is for us to truly be in a sharing mode. Now, before I dive into today's topic and we start talking and chit-chatting, I want to take a few minutes to welcome everyone. Number one, let me welcome everyone who's joining us live. If you're here live, I always love it when you're participating during the live sessions, when you have questions, comments, or any recommendations for me. So if you're watching live, please let me know and just drop a hello or hi in the comments so I can say hello back to you and we can get this dialogue going. The other thing is, I know some of you are listening to me via our podcast. Maybe you're watching this on our website, so you're watching the video replay or on YouTube. I wanted to welcome you as well. When you're watching us through those mediums, I love at the same time to hear your comments. I love to hear how you're feeling and what's going on. So even if you're listening to this as a replay after the live session, please comment and participate because this is such a great way for me to not only know what's happening in your world, but an opportunity for me to share and for us to come together during these weekly sessions. All right. So in today's topic, celebrating personal wins, I wanted to do a little bit of grounding. I wanted to mention what I meant by these personal wins. What do I consider a personal win? And when I talk about what's a win, to me, a win is anything that you've been able to accomplish. Whether it's something that's been crazy difficult, whether it's something you had planned to do for a long period of time, whether it's something that you're currently stumped, something happened, something shifted in your business, you had to pivot, or maybe as you're just building your business, you're in that beginning stages, what you're doing is having a couple of aha moments. You're doing things and you're kind of surprising yourself by what you're doing. All right. These are the things that I'm talking about as far as wins, and we'll talk even more specific about it. But the reason I want to bring this up is because what I find for many of us when we're running our businesses, we want to put on the brave face. We want to put on the face that we are so calm, cool, and collected, and we have everything together that we get a little nervous about showing our own growth. We get a little bit nervous about showing that we didn't know something before and now we know it. We have a hard time letting people know that there are things that are difficult for us. And what I don't want you to do as you move forward in your business, as you go through this journey, through this path of discovery of you, your business, your brand, your customers, that you hide. I don't want you to get into a scenario where you feel like you can't be yourself. Now, I don't want to make it sound like when we do things in social media, it's 100% transparency because there are things that we want to keep personal and want to keep close to our hearts, maybe things that happen in our family and things like that. Nothing wrong with that. I have no problem with you keeping some things personal. But what I don't want you to do is create this space between you and your customers, your prospects, and the world. I don't want you to really kind of not let people in a little bit. Because here's the thing. This is the thing that I want you to think about. One thing I want you to consider is that for many of you, when you're running your business, when you are teaching, training, supporting, helping people, you're often asking your customers to grow. You're asking customers to transform. You're asking customers to change. You're asking them to do something new, whether it's a new product that you want them to try, whether you want them to up their health and actually go for gluten-free products. Maybe you want them to help with kind of helping the environment. So you want them to make changes in the products that they buy, what they throw away, how they conserve water. Maybe you want to help people through the transition of becoming vegan or going plant-based. Maybe you're helping people with fitness. How do they get back in control of their fitness plan? No matter what that growth or transformation that you're asking people to do, what I want you to do is lead by example. What I want you to do is be willing to show your own transformation and growth, especially by leading by example. And what that means is if you're going to ask others to do something, if you're going to ask other people to make these leaps forward, if you're going to ask other people to push and drive themselves to a better version of themselves, a more compassionate version of themselves, a more environmentally friendly version of themselves, if you're going to ask people to change maybe the status quo or challenge the status quo, what I want you to do is make sure you lead by example, that you do those things too. And you don't just kind of show the good face, but you show all of the challenges, all of the things that you're going through, and you share it with your audience. All right. Now, here's the thing, sharing is one piece of it. And one piece of the concept that you want people to know who you are and what you're doing. But the other reason I want you to share some of these personal wins is let's talk about what's going on in our world right now. Let's talk about the headlines that are happening. Let's talk about all the things that are really kind of troubling when you turn on the news, when you pick up a newspaper, if you're reading newspapers, when you're jumping on your phone and looking at the notifications. And what can happen in our world right now is we're getting into this space where everyone's sharing their sad story. Everyone's sharing their stories that has been, the things that have really gotten to them, the things that have hurt them. And while I think it's important to share those stories because we can't post a rosy picture all the time, what I don't want us to do is get into a habit of not sharing the good, of not sharing the things that are working, of not kind of letting the world know that there is some good things happening. And what I want to do is I want to kind of talk today about how important it is to make sure that you are counterbalancing the script, the headlines, and the gloom that is out there in the world. Now, I'm not trying to say when you get online and you say, hey, high five, I did my first live session, or high five, I launched my website, or hey, I just want to let you know I finally learned how to use Canva to drive A, B, and C in my business. That stuff is good. It's exciting. And I don't want to make it sound like those headlines are counterbalancing some of the really true devastation that's happening around the world. But what I want you to realize is that if you don't share your good, no matter how small, little, medium, extra large it may be, then I really believe that you're not contributing to what is great about being an entrepreneur, contributing to what is great about being able to go on these types of journeys and adventures where you dream something and turn it into a business. And then I worry that you're not giving people an accurate account of what it's like to do what you're doing. So, what I want to do today is kind of encourage you to share those moments, share what's going on, and let people kind of into what it's like to be another vegan entrepreneur. Because think about it, as us, as vegans, we're trying to change the world. We're trying to help the world go vegan. We're trying to help people make those steps. And to me, one of the most amazing ways that you can impact the world changing, the world moving towards kind of this vegan lifestyle is by sharing your journey, is by sharing with people what you've learned along the way, how you've grown, how your business has transformed, how your business is impacting things. You become not only a leader for that next entrepreneur, business owner, or that next person that has a great idea, they're a little nervous, and they hear your story, you can help them. But you also become a beaming light in our society. You become a person who is willing to talk about what's going on and what's good. And that goodness is something that people can latch on to. It's something that people can hear. And therefore, we can start to create more and more, even if there's small headlines, even if there's small stories about what vegans are doing that are good in the world. And while I have a ton of activism in me, I am very, very, very passionate about being an activist. What I also want to do is I want to show people how vegans are, what vegans are like, how we express good and greatness in the world. And I want to show it through my activist hat sometimes. And sometimes I want to show it through my business hat. I want to show it through these different dimensions in these different ways so that people can see all the variety of vegan businesses and business owners out there and also get a perspective and experience with us. Not just what our products are, not just what we're selling, that stuff's important, but I also want them to get to know us, to get to know who we are. All right? Now, no matter where you are on that journey, someone just comment that they may be not vegan, but you're enjoying the show. I'm so glad you're enjoying it as well. It doesn't mean that I'm only talking to vegans out there. I just get so inspired and so excited because so much of my audience are vegans. But the idea is that it's so important that all of us put out these positive messages. All of us lead and show the world that there's greatness in what we do. All right. Now, the third thing I want to talk about when it comes to celebrating wins is I want to get a little more personal about it. I want to talk about how it can help you. I want to talk about how important it is as individuals for us to share our wins. What happens often in our businesses is we're grinding it out. We're all thinking about things to get done, things to get done. What do I have to get done? We think about what we haven't gotten done. We think about what we are behind on. And what I want you to do is make sure that you're not creating a story in your mind that what's happening in your business is that all you're doing is being behind. That what is happening is you have this kind of monster to-do list that's chasing you as you're moving forward day to day. What I want you to do is start to think about what you're really accomplishing in your business. Spend some time to reflect on it. Spend some time to remember that you are getting things done. Maybe there's more you want to get done. Maybe you want to get more done faster. A lot of us have big dreams. There's nothing wrong with having those dreams. But what I want to do is also anchor in a little bit of the reality of the good that you're doing. And I want you to celebrate things that happen that propel your business forward. I also want you to share it with your customers. I want you to share it on social media. I want you to send out an email and let people know. This isn't about bravado. This is not about bragging. What this is about when you are starting to put yourself in a scenario when you're telling people about the wins and telling people about the things that you're doing is what you're helping them see is you're helping them see the progress in your business. You're helping people see that you are moving towards something great. You're helping people see that you are on a track. You have a roadmap. People can get a glimpse into where you're headed. And what you're starting to do is you're starting to create a two-way communication. What tends to happen to us as business owners is we can kind of turn into like the expert on the stage, the expert in front of the audience, the person that's kind of giving out the information to others. And while that's important, it's a specific role a lot of us play, especially as coaches, especially as advisors, maybe as analysts, and a lot of the roles that we play. But what I also want you to be, what I also want to make sure is that you're a part of your community. So when you ask your customers to share their wins, when you ask people to share their journey and share their transformational stories, I want you to do it as well. I want you to create this two-way support system where you support your community and your community starts to support you. because all of us have so much to do. All of us are on a lot of difficult and challenging journeys. And why do that alone? Why not let your community, the groups that you're building, the connections that you're making, why not let them be a part of your support system? Why not allow them to cheer you on? Why not allow them to be your inspiration this week, today, next week? Because we all need sometimes that push. Sometimes we need a cheerleader in our corners. Sometimes we need a reminder of the work and the things that we do, how and why they matters to others. So therefore, start to create that two-way street. Start to create an opportunity for you to not just be that expert on the stage, but a person that contributes to the group, a person that contributes their wins, their excitement, and their fun. And then the last thing I want to say is when we talk about this, is I've been talking about kind of the wins from a business standpoint. And while there's so much that we're probably all doing in our businesses, that we're all doing as we're growing our businesses, as we're growing our reach, one thing I want you to remember is that there's a piece of you, that personal side that you want to share. One thing I try to do is share my workout journey. It's been a big one for me and it's been a hard one. It's hard for me to like get away from my desk and go work out because, I love working. I love the stuff I'm doing, but I had to make a prioritization. I had to decide that I want to be healthy, that I didn't want to put my health below my business. So therefore, I had to start reprioritizing, moving things around in my day. And what I thought would be great is to share that with others, to let people know that I am prioritizing me at times, that I am taking care of me at times. And while it's still under the umbrella of my journey in this space, in kind of being an entrepreneur and a business owner, but it's things that are personally important to me. It's things that are important to me and that I'm doing. I love sharing photos of when I'm cooking. And I'm not a big chef or cook in the kitchen, but I love to share it because it shows how I live my vegan lifestyle, what I do, what I eat, how I prepare things. I love showing pictures of my husband and I when we get to go out and do things. We haven't been doing that many lately, so I haven't been sharing as many. But when we used to get out and go to events and activities, I love to share it. When we've been flexing and doing curbside pickup, if I decided I didn't want to cook that night, and we do it together, I love sharing those photos with my audience, with people in my professional setting, because I want them to see me living just like a regular person. I want them to see who I am. And I think it's important to let people see you, even in a business context, to let people see and actually see how you manage, how you kind of navigate this journey we're all on, which is the journey of life, and how you walk through those twists and turns, how you flex, and also how you balance it all. Because while it's great to run an amazing business, to run a successful business, I also think it's equally great on how well you treat your employees, your freelancers, and the people that you work with. I also think it's important for people to see how you treat your family, your friends, how you treat and take care of yourself, because all of those are a complete reflection of who you are. So allow people in. And maybe at times, make sure you're examining yourself and making sure you're not becoming too business focused, so that the idea is for my business to grow, I sacrifice everything else and everyone else. I never want you to do that. And if you're starting to feel like you're leaning that way, let's make some adjustments so that when you're sharing your personal story, you have a personal story to share. When you're talking about the wins that you're having, they're not all just about the business. They're about things that show your growth, show who you are, how you contribute, how you treat others, and how your personal life is important, and how you express yourself and who you are, how it actually makes an impact not only in your business, in your community, in your family, and ultimately the world at large. All right? So, with that, we're going to wrap up today's session. I'm so excited to have a chance to come to you every single week. As always, if you have any questions and you're watching this as a replay, or if you just want to say, yep, Stephanie, I could relate to that bit and that bit, let me know in the comments. We always love your support and thumbs ups and likes. So, no matter where you're watching this, I appreciate it if you hit that like button. And as always, I look forward to coming back next week so we can continue talking about this journey that we're all on. I can continue to hopefully inspire and motivate you, as well as offer some training to help you as you move forward in your journey. All right? Goodbye, everyone.